Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm here with another back issue haul. I'm recording this for you. It's way in the past. I'm recording this right after Christmas, and I've got a little bit of a Christmas theme going on because there's some Christmas presents here, some Christmas presents I bought for myself, some stuff I got while I was out shopping for Christmas presents for other people. So a little bit of a retro Christmas experience for all of you who are living in the future right now, but for me, it's still right after Christmas. Let's just jump right into it here. So first Christmas thing that's up here is a Christmas tradition. So I'm part of a couple different forums online to discuss comic books, and one of them, the primary one, is the Classic Comics Forum. And on the Classic Comics Forum, every year we have a 12 Days of Christmas where we have a different theme every year. And this year, and then we count down whatever our picks are. So this year it was favorite books that were spin-offs from another series. And one book that came up that everyone was really talking about as being a great book. It's one that I've never read before, but now I'm going to. It's The Kents. So The Kents was a 12-issue miniseries. First issue is cover dated August 1997. Has a great creative team. It's John Ostrander and Tim Truman. Here's issue 2. And it's basically the story of the Kent family. It's Pa Kent's like great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. So it starts in 1854 with Bleeding Kansas, because of course they're from Kansas. And then it goes through the Civil War. And also, has other stuff about the West and Native Americans and stuff like that. So, haven't read it yet, but I really like Westerns. Obviously, I've read some of Tim Truman's other works as well. And this was really getting a lot of high praise. So, I thought I'd pick it up. It was cheap. I think after shipping, I only paid, $22 to get the whole 12-issue series sent to me. Now this is also was the creative team for a while, the original creative team on one of my favorite books, because these guys were the creative team on just on Grimjack. Sorry, I just had a little bit of a brain fart because I'm recording this at like 1:30 in the morning, and of course I'm a huge fan of Grimjack, so I'm really looking forward to it. Now, this is a little bit of a heavier read than most of what I'm reading these days in comics. So it may take me a little while to make my way through it. But I am excited to read this because by all accounts, it's really excellent. And again, knowing the creative team, I'm sure it is really excellent. So I'm excited to get that. Again, that was something I saw people talking about during our 12 Days of Christmas over in the Classic Comic Forum. Every year this happens where people pick stuff you're not expecting or you're not familiar with or you never read, and then they talk about how awesome it is, and then you've got to go pick it up. So this was my pickup for the year. Next thing I want to show here is one of a couple presents I'm going to be showing you that my wife got me. And this is a book that I've actually shown a couple individual issues of in previous recent hauls. It's just a coincidence, but it's Love Everlasting. So a couple months ago, I got a second copy of issue 1 with a different variant cover from when issue 1 of this came out back in a year ago or whatever. I had picked up one of the variant covers because it looked like a 50s Charlton romance comic, and then I happened to stumble across another cool one at a store. I picked that up. And finally got around to reading it and realized I should have been reading it the whole time because it's sort of a deconstruction of romance comics, right? And so I've been looking out for the other issues. I've picked up issue 2, which I showed in another haul a while ago, but I haven't seen issue 3 at any of the stores. And I want to read them in order, and they're on like issue 10 or 11. And so anyway, it's a whole thing, but it's something I was definitely interested in reading. Well, my wife didn't know any of that stuff. But she knows I love the romance comics, and so we were at a shop recently, and they had all these discount bins of trades for like $5 each, and these have just came out recently. In fact, they're brand new, but so maybe she got these at full price. I know she bought a lot of $5 trades there. Maybe she snuck these into the pile. I know she snuck them in so I wouldn't see them. I don't mean sneak them in to get a deal, but it's both the first trade and the second trade. So again, it's a little bit of heavier reading because you have to think about what you're reading, or at least I do, because I'm really interested in how it's playing with the tropes from the romance comic genre, which really haven't been used since the 70s. But since I read so many romance comics, it's really interesting to me. So when I read these, I've got to do a lot of thinking and pay close attention. So it's a little bit heavier than sort of the escapist stuff that I've been into recently. But I'm really excited to get both of these. So thanks for my wife on these again. Really looking forward. I got a lot of reading here. So those are more Christmas presents. Here's something that's a little unusual. It's actually, I went out shopping on Christmas Eve because I didn't think I quite had. I had some stuff. I didn't wait till the last day to do my shopping. I had a number of things, but I was like, I feel like I'm just missing something, and I also wanted to get some stocking stuffers. So I went out shopping on Christmas Eve. Didn't really find anything. Found the stocking stuffers, but I didn't really find any presents, for my wife or for the other people I was shopping for. But I did find something for myself. And you may have seen this already because I'm recording a whole video about Spire Comics, so I don't know what order these are going to air in. But here's one that I've never seen before that they happen to have right here in town at an antique store for $5. It's Through Gates of Splendor. Now you can see from the cover that it's something about missionaries being attacked by natives, I guess in the Amazon. So I'm sure there won't be anything outdated about this comic. It is a 39-cent Spire, so it's one of the earlier ones. So this would be from mid-70s, early mid-70s. But I've never seen this one before. I am putting it together, as I mentioned. You may have already seen the video because I am doing. I've probably run it already. I'm showing like the Spire comics that I have so far, and it's actually a little hard to find detailed information about Spire comics, and so I don't know how rare this is in terms of in relation to other Spires, but I'd never seen it before. So for $5, had to get it. Through Gates of Splendor, so that was exciting. Now here's a real rarity, like a real rarity that also almost nobody in the world cares about. But you all know how much I love boy comics and the character Crime Busters, right? Crime Busters, so much so that I've done my own comic, The Crime Busters, where I pick up on the continuity from that series and blah, blah, blah. I've talked about this a lot, but I just love the character and the Golden Age series. And the story that I'm working on right now for my next issue of Crime Busters, which is going to be issue 7, hopefully out later this year, but I'm working on it now, is inspired by the fact that in the 50s and even into the 60s, there was a South American reprint title where, the boy comics starring Crime Buster ended here in the U.S. in 1956, but it was still being printed into the mid-60s, I think up until 63 or 64, down in Colombia. So the character got really popular down there, and I have, in the past, I've gotten a couple of the Colombian, they're like digest size, and the character down there is called Yosty. It's Justy. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. But Yosty, it's clearly Crime Buster. Same costume, he just has a J instead of a C on the front. Or so I thought. So I was looking around on eBay for something. Because I was working on this comic, I was looking for more scans of these, because they're very hard to find. I've got basically the only 2 that I've seen before, ones that I bought on eBay. So I was looking for some more scans just so I could show my artist like exactly what Yosty looks like. And what I found instead was the first issue. Yes, the first issue of the Colombian version from 1952. Now in Colombia, there were 2 different digest series The first one started in 52. It ran for like 60 issues, and then when that ended, another digest series picked up from that point, and ran like another 60 issues again into the mid 60s. But this is even smaller. It's actually smaller than digest size. When I got it out of the shipping thing, I was very excited, but I was also really surprised at just how small it is. Here it is. It's teensy tiny. I mean, just for comparison, here's the regular digest from Yusty. Look how much smaller that is. Little teensy tiny. And then there's the special, like, slightly larger, just slightly larger, like triple thickness digest. Those are the previous ones that I have. But then we got this tiny one, and the size isn't the only thing that's surprising and cool about it. He's got a different costume on here. I mean, it's basically the same, except for he's not wearing pants anymore. Originally, he wears his hockey uniform, so it's hockey shorts, but he's got, like, you know, leggings or whatever underneath it, like a hockey player, if you can imagine what that looks like. But here, bare legs, and they've just changed the color of everything. So here he is on the back cover. You can get a better look at the costume. So it's the J instead of the C, but they've given him a yellow top, and, like, I guess those are like green. Now they're like boxing trunks, and totally different look. Even though it's essentially the same outfit. You know, on the regular version, he's got the red, and then he's got white and blue alternating stripes on his sleeves. Well, he still has 3 stripes on his sleeve here, but they're all the same color. It's 3 blue stripes. And it's also really cool that the cover is drawn to look like a book. So, like, this is drawn, so there's the actual spine, but there's this fake spine and this fake, you know, stuff up here to make it look like you've just bought like a thick book, even though it's teensy tiny. And then on the inside, it's like little tiny panels. Look at those little panels. Look at that. So, super cool. I love just the look of it. But again, just to have the first issue of the Colombian series. So now I've got 3 out of like 120. But super cool. Had to get, as soon as I saw it, I was like, gotta have that for my Boy Comics collection because it's so rad. And then finally, this isn't my biggest haul. Not a lot of comics here, but some really cool stuff. And speaking of something that's really cool and really rad, it's also technically not a comic, but it was another Christmas present. This was from my wife. You may remember last year I did a video that got a fair amount of views, so people seem to like it, about my collection of Tool posters. And during that video, I also showed some of my Pucifer posters. Because I have a small collection of concert posters. I'm a big fan of Maynard James Keenan. When I was working on that video, I was trying to do a little research about the posters that I had, because, you know, I bought them mostly at shows, a couple online. And I didn't really know too much about, like, the collectability, the value, the rarity, that sort of thing. I just didn't know. So I was looking for it online, and I came across a Pucifer concert poster that I absolutely had to have. And I showed it to my wife, and she bought it for me for Christmas. So let me show that to you now. Check that out. I think it's obvious why I had to have this in my collection. Obviously, a huge Pucifer fan, and as you all know, I'm a huge fan of classic Archie comics. So this concert poster, which is from May 30th, 2023, Rochester, New York concert, it's just so cool. So absolutely love it. And you can see we've got a frame that's going to go up on the wall here. And how cool is that, right? So that's it for this time. Again, not a lot of stuff in this haul, but a lot of really good stuff. And I got a lot of reading to do. The Love Everlasting, the Kents, and then just a couple really cool things. So in terms of Christmas, I got a bunch of cool comics. In terms of comics, I had a really good Christmas. I hope you did too. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time.